What if I told you that somewhere on Earth, there are machines so powerful they can perform more calculations in a single second than every human being on the planet could complete in millions of years? These incredible machines don't stream movies, browse social media, or play video games. Instead, they predict deadly hurricanes before they form, search for cures to diseases that have challenged scientists for decades, design safer airplanes, train the world's smartest artificial intelligence, simulate nuclear fusion, and even help humanity prepare for missions to the Moon and Mars. Hidden inside highly secure research laboratories and enormous data centers are the most powerful computers ever built. They occupy entire buildings instead of fitting on a desk. Thousands of processors work together like one gigantic brain, connected by ultra-fast networks capable of moving unimaginable amounts of information every second. Every flashing light, every humming server, and every cooling pipe represents humanity's endless pursuit of knowledge. But here's the fascinating part. The race to build these machines isn't just about technology. It's a global competition involving the world's most powerful nations. The United States, Japan, Europe, and China are investing billions of dollars because whoever controls the fastest computers may also lead the future of artificial intelligence, medicine, energy, cybersecurity, and space exploration. Today, we're taking you inside this hidden world. We'll discover how these digital giants work, why they are so important, and count down the top 10 most powerful supercomputers on Earth. Stay with us until the end, because the number one machine has entered an entirely new era of computing. And an era once thought impossible even by the world's greatest scientists. Introduction. The invisible machines. Running the future every day, billions of people use smartphones and laptops without realizing that the biggest scientific discoveries rarely happen on ordinary computers. Behind almost every modern breakthrough is a supercomputer working silently in the background. When scientists study climate change, they depend on supercomputers. When engineers design spacecraft, they use supercomputers. When doctors search for new medicines, they use supercomputers. Even artificial intelligence systems capable of understanding human language require enormous computing power before they become intelligent enough to assist people. Modern civilization is becoming increasingly dependent on computing. Every satellite orbiting Earth continuously sends enormous amounts of information back to ground stations. Weather satellites monitor clouds, storms, ocean temperatures, and atmospheric pressure. Space telescopes capture breathtaking images from distant galaxies. Particle accelerators generate mountains of experimental data. Hospitals sequence human DNA. Financial markets process millions of transactions every second. The amount of information produced every day is almost beyond imagination. Processing this information requires machines operating on an entirely different level. That is where supercomputers enter the story. Unlike ordinary desktop computers, which may contain a handful of processor cores, a supercomputer combines hundreds of thousands, or sometimes millions, of processing cores working together simultaneously. Instead of solving one problem after another, they solve countless problems at the same time. Imagine asking one person to build a skyscraper. It would take centuries. Now imagine assigning the same task to 1 million highly trained workers. Suddenly, what once seemed impossible becomes achievable. That is exactly how supercomputers work. Thousands of processors divide giant mathematical problems into millions of smaller pieces before solving them simultaneously. The result is breathtaking speed. How powerful are they? Scientists measure computer performance using flops, which stands for floating point operations per second. Your home computer performs billions of calculations every second. That sounds impressive. But modern supercomputers don't perform billions. They don't even perform trillions. Many operate in the range of quadrillions and quintillions of calculations every second. To understand how incredible that is, imagine counting one number every second without stopping. Reaching 1 million would take about 12 days. Reaching 1 billion would take over 30 years. Reaching 1 trillion would require more than 30,000 years. Now imagine 1 quintillion. That number is so enormous that no human could ever count that high within a lifetime, or even within the entire history of civilization. Yet the world's fastest supercomputers process numbers at that scale every single second. This unbelievable computing power allows scientists to simulate events that cannot easily be tested in the real world. Instead of building thousands of expensive aircraft prototypes, engineers test them digitally. Instead of waiting decades to observe climate patterns, scientists simulate centuries inside computers. Instead of performing dangerous nuclear experiments, researchers model reactions mathematically. Everything becomes faster, cheaper, safer, more accurate. The global race begins. For decades, countries have competed to build faster and more powerful supercomputers. During the Cold War, these machines were developed mainly for military research and nuclear simulations. As technology advanced, their role expanded dramatically. Today, they support medicine, weather forecasting, aerospace engineering, renewable energy, artificial intelligence, and scientific discovery. The United States invested heavily through national laboratories. Japan surprised the world by developing entirely new processor architectures. European nations joined forces to build machines supporting thousands of researchers. Meanwhile, China rapidly expanded its computing capabilities, becoming one of the strongest competitors in the race for technological leadership. This competition isn't simply about prestige. Computing power now influences economic growth, national security, scientific innovation, and artificial intelligence development. The nation with better computing infrastructure often develops new technologies first, and those technologies eventually shape the global economy. How supercomputers actually work: walk inside one of these facilities, and you won't find one giant computer. Instead, you'll discover endless rows of server cabinets stretching across enormous rooms. Each cabinet contains hundreds of processors. Thousands of cabinets connect together through ultra-fast fiber optic networks. Every processor performs part of the overall calculation. One group might simulate weather, another models airflow around an aircraft, another trains an artificial intelligence model. The challenge isn't simply making processors faster. The real challenge is making hundreds of thousands of processors communicate perfectly. Even tiny communication delays reduce performance. That is why engineers develop incredibly fast networking, systems capable of transferring terabytes of information every second. Storage presents another challenge. Many supercomputers process petabytes of information. 1 petabyte equals 1 million gigabytes. Imagine storing millions of HD movies. That gives you an idea of the data these machines handle every day. Cooling. The giant's processing enormous amounts of data generates extraordinary heat. Without cooling systems, processors would fail within minutes. Many modern supercomputers no longer rely only on air conditioning. Instead, engineers circulate chilled water directly around processors. Some facilities even use liquid immersion cooling, where electronic components operate inside special non-conductive liquids that efficiently remove heat. Others recycle waste heat to warm nearby buildings, improving overall energy efficiency. Every improvement matters because a single supercomputer may consume electricity comparable to thousands of homes. Balancing performance with sustainability has become one of the greatest engineering challenges of modern computing. Transition to the countdown. Now that we understand what makes these incredible machines so powerful, it's finally time to begin our countdown. From Europe's newest AI giants to America's record-breaking exascale systems and Japan's revolutionary computing innovations, each machine on this list represents years of engineering, billions of dollars in investment, and humanity's relentless pursuit of knowledge. Our journey begins with one of Europe's newest technological masterpieces, a supercomputer built not just to calculate faster than ever before, but to help scientists solve some of the greatest challenges facing our world.